Do you believe in the saying that reading gives us some place to go when we have to stay where we are? Yes, it is so much of the unique things what reading can do. The more that you read, the more things that you will know. And the more that you learn, the more places you'll go. It is the gateway for learners that make the learning possible. Good day, everyone. In this discussion, we have to dig deeper and delve into the concept of essentialities of reading for various concepts. In essence, developing the critical and creative thinking of learners through equipping with fundamental preparation to meet the needs, the strengths, interests, and also experiences of the children. Reading, being a life skill, has been implemented in the school system from the time the child enters school. To see how this skill is given life and teaching and learning, authorities have shared their varied but parallel ideas. On reading, according to Short K and Hurst in 1996, reading is an active process of constructing meaning of words. So there are not only one, but many reasons why reading should be part of your life. Because reading exposes you to new ideas and thought processes. For that reason, it can potentially spark your own creativity and your own problem-solving skills. It is likewise a number of interactive processes where your mind can be active and can be engaged to different things, and which you as a reader, you can use your own knowledge to build, to create, and to construct meaning. Enhance vocabulary, The reason why reading can enhance your vocabulary is because regular reading exposes you to a wider range of information, improving your communication skills and comprehension. On principles of teaching reading. So any academic undertaking like reading instruction must ensure that it is systematic, it is effective, and it is supportive to the student's growth. So according to Graves et al. In 2007, they emphasize several foundational principles in teaching reading. They have 6 components. Firstly, building positive attitude and perspectives. So we as a future educator, we must cultivate a positive environment where students can develop an enjoyable attitude towards reading, so which can eventually motivate them to improve their vocabulary. Second, providing a balanced instructional framework, or to provide consistent instructional structure and use time effectively. So it is like balancing different instructional approaches, such as for comprehension and fluency to support like varied or different aspects of their reading development. Thirdly, provide text that students can read successfully. It is providing accessible text, selecting materials that match their reading levels that can enable them to like successfully engage and to gradually improve their reading skills. Fourth, provide time for word study. Allocating time for word study, incorporating dedicated time for vocabulary development for the students to help them build a strong language foundation. Encourage independent reading. You as a future educator, you must promote reading outside of the structured lesson for the students to cultivate a habit of reading, not just for pleasure but also for learning. Lastly, for the sixth, coordinate intervention instruction and classroom instruction. So integrating any additional support to measure with the general classroom instruction to ensure the consistency and the tailored support for every and each student. So by anchoring reading instruction to these principles, educators can create an inclusive and effective environment that fosters reading success and lifelong literacy.
Let us proceed on the teaching of reading, with the aim to improve students' comprehension and enable them to effectively and responsibly function in the society. Teaching strategies are highly paramount, as these facilitate meaningful learning. They have to be judiciously selected, considering the student's demographic profile, to ensure that the comprehension skills considered as life skills will be well assimilated so that students can eventually apply them in a real life situation. Authorities now share their views and ideas on strategies in the teaching of reading that ensure that these will help students develop their critical and thinking skills. According to McAwan of 2007, to improve students' reading comprehension, teachers should introduce the 7 cognitive strategies of effective readers, like activating, inferring, monitoring, clarifying questions, searching, selecting, and summarizing. Forward, a lot of people think that reading as a tool subject is easy to learn and apply without knowing its complexity. Remember that the ultimate goal of reading is easy, however, it bears challenges in the process of letting the students understand, analyze, or even evaluate reading materials. Always remember that making students learn and enjoy as they understand and apply the reading skills to real life is an art. These are the following strategies that they need to consider. First one, noting details. Understanding the details will help you understand the selection better. Furthermore, details guide the readers to understand parts of the whole. Second one is following directions. This skill is putting adherence to what are set for order and discipline. There are myriads of situations in life where people can't just do things on their own. Instead, they must follow directions. In actual life experiences, people and events turn out better if there is a faithful adherence to this very important skill. Third one is sequencing events. It is the arrangement or proper organization of things and events. If responsibilities are done in proper sequence, then things and people become organized and systematic. In reading, this is very essential as it guides the reader to organize and come up with a general understanding of the written text or reading material. One is distinguishing fact from opinion. A fact is an event or situation that is proven and tested based on data, while an opinion is personal belief about a person or a situation which still needs to be proven. This skill guides the reader to ensure that as ideas are presented, either through facts or opinions, he or she can weigh situations before making a decision. One is determining cause and effect relationship. This denotes that every action happens based on a cause and the result of the action is the effect. Being so, words and actions need to be well thought of to engender peace and prosperity. As one reads, he or she needs to be responsible in his or her actions and reactions based on the given premises. It is predicting outcomes. It is to foretell what future actions lie ahead based on the present situation. It is therefore important to learn to prepare for future events so as not to be caught in an adverse situation. This is really given value in reading, as one is led to well thought of real life plans. Next would be getting the main idea. It is identifying the gist of the text, thus giving focus to the essentials. This skill is indeed useful, as people give credit to brevity and conciseness of ideas based on the supporting ideas of the matter. One is skimming and scanning. These skills involve the act of reading that it needs to be done fast to get intended meaning of the selection within a short period of time. Skimming is the act of quick reading from the start of the selection until the end in order to get its intended meaning. This is actually a skill on getting the main idea just simply done fast. These reading skills are noted as life skills because they are not just applicable in written texts or situations, but in real life as well. It is in these contexts that as you teach, choose a reading material that can be richly infused with the skills. It takes a skillful teacher to translate a reading skill to reality through meaningful learning experiences.
First things first is to know your students. Your ample knowledge on the demographic profile of your students will give you an idea on the kind of reading material to offer based on the set of competencies, learning activities, and scaffolds, and its attainability within a given time frame. Second, consider the following major stages as well as sample activities in the teaching methodology. You can teach them by pre-reading. This is a lead-in stage that allows the readers to activate their prior knowledge and create a schema based on the upcoming selection to be taken up. Under the pre-reading is the critical vocabulary. Critical vocabulary. These are the unfamiliar words found in the selection or reading material. To facilitate understanding of the material, unlock them operationally using any of the following clues. So there are 3 following clues under the critical vocabulary, which are context clues, picture clues, configuration clues. First, context clues. These are the clues that help the students understand the meaning of unfamiliar words. They are used in meaningful situations as related to the text. They come in the form of definition, explanation, synonym, antonyms, and appositive. Second, picture clause. Images representing unfamiliar words can be shown to give an idea of what the words means. Lastly, the third one is the configuration clues. These are figures represented by short and long boxes that corresponds to the size of the letters in the given word. Directed reading activity. It is a comprehension strategy that guides students in asking questions about a text, making predictions, and then reading to confirm or refute their predictions. The DRTA process encourages students to be active and thoughtful readers, also to enhance their comprehension. Next, anticipation guide. It is a comprehension strategy that is used to activate students' prior knowledge and build curiosity about new topic. Before reading, students listen to or read several statements about key concepts presented in the text. They're often structured as a series of statements which the students can choose to agree or disagree. Anticipation guide stimulates students' interest in a topic and set of purpose for reading. Next to pre-reading is during reading. So these are the following reading strategies and activities during the reading proper. Under the during reading is number 1, page encounter. After reading each page of the reading materials, students in pairs discuss or share an experience in pairs about the part of the material read. After, they proceed reading and will do the same. Second, reading interface. This strategy can be done when students read the material alternately in pairs or two big groups. Oral reading proficiency is given importance in this activity. In the process, they can take turns in asking questions. Third, visualizing highlights. When the teacher or students read the selection, the other students illustrate the important events on the paper. Next to during reading is post-reading. This stage of reading activity is done after a story or the selection is read. Since reading is basically comprehension, the following activities may help assess how much the students understand the reading material. Under the post-reading is number 1, dimensional questions. After reading and discussing the story and the realization of its competencies, the teacher assesses how much the students have learned. It follows the following dimension by this: literal, the recognitions of facts; inferential, reasons why events happen; critical evaluation, justifying opinions and forming judgment; and lastly, and integration, infusion of values called for by the story and its competencies. Number 2, graphic organizers. These are illustrations that the students can use to capture their understanding of the stories or competencies. Thereafter, they explain the graphic organizer they have created. So we are now done in pre-reading, during reading, and post-reading. So let's go back. First is to know your students. Second, consider the following methodology. And the last thing is creative writing. These activities elicits the students' holistic understanding of the selection through their individual creative written activity. This may come in a form of scripts, short stories, commentaries, and others.
So today I'm going to discuss about the assessment of reading performance. So assessment plays a critical role in teaching and learning. These are measures to ascertain how and how much of the instructional delivery is carried out. It's like ensuring that teaching methods are effective in that students achieve the intended learning outcomes, especially in reading comprehension. So proper assessment aligns learning objectives with teaching activities and helps identify areas for improvement. And next is on the concept of assessment. So in this course, we're not just reading, but we're developing specific reading comprehension skills. Assessment helps us track your progress in those skills. Think of it like this. If you're learning to play the guitar, you wouldn't just play a song once and be done. You'd practice scales, chords, and different techniques and receive feedback along the way. So it's just like an assessment in reading comprehension. So it's a series of checks to see how well you're mastering key skills like identifying main ideas, making inferences, analyzing arguments, and evaluating resources. Next is on purposes of assessment in reading. So assessments are essential tools for reading teachers. They help teachers navigate the varying needs of students while covering content and competences. A basic purpose is to ascertain if learning objectives are met. Assessment also diagnoses strengths and weaknesses, especially in reading comprehension. Information from authorities and research contributes to the purposes of assessment. From Gaicha in 2016, assessment result and other measurement data like survey data are valuable tools for evaluating the effectiveness of institutional practices. They help track the functioning of the assessment system. Forming adjustment. So, in short, the excerpt emphasizes that assessment is not merely a grading tool but a crucial process for improving teaching and learning. It involves systematically gathering and interpreting data from various sources to understand students' learning, refine teaching methods, and ultimately enhance reading comprehension skills. Different authors offer slightly different perspectives, but they all converge on the idea that assessment is a dynamic and essential part of effective education.
On types of reading assessment. Prospective teachers should understand the types of reading assessment. Teach taught list the 6 types including the diagnostic, which is the pre-assessment, formative, during the instruction, summative is the end of instruction. Norm reference is the comparison with others, and the criteriations a reference against the goal, standard, or interim. Benchmark is the periodic. In reading, teaching, focus is to developing skills for critical and creative thinking, with the word recognition and vocabulary development being is important. The informal reading inventory, which is called IRI, is an assessment tool for diagnosing, developing, and remediating. It is a graduated activities for different levels. It helps teachers to create lesson plans and evaluate language usage. Phonological awareness is the basic reading skills involving the understanding the spoken words have individual sounds, and correct production of sounds lead to comprehend or comprehensibility. Strong phonemic awareness predicts the reading success, and students with weak skills may struggle. Some practical activities developing the phonemic awareness are suggested. Exercising the vocal cords, letter word recognition, and articulation, name and identifications. Spoken expressions and building acronyms. Vocabulary development is crucial. It is a process of acquiring, appropriately using words. Reading every day is a basic requirement. Some vocabulary development activities for reading classes are provided. Word rally, emoji interpretation, story development, word hunt, and story transformation.
So, let's now talk about comprehension. When you hear the word comprehension, what comes in your mind? Yes, it is the ability to understand the meaning of information or ideas. So, according to the book, comprehension is the understanding and interpretation of what is read. To be able to accurately understand written materials, children needs to be able to first is decode what they read. Decoding is a reading skill that involves translating printed words into speech. It's a crucial part of reading comprehension, which is the ability to understand the meaning of what is read.
Secondly, make connections between what they read and what they already know. Making connections is a reading comprehension strategy that helps students understand what they read by linking new information to what they already know. So, thirdly, will be think deeply about what they have read, or reading rockets. According to reading rockets, thinking deeply about what you have read is one of the three main components of comprehension, along with the decoding that you read and making connections between what you read and what you already know. According to Ternay 1982, comprehension or extracting meaning from what you read is the ultimate goal of reading. The process of comprehension is both interactive and strategic. Rather than passively reading text, readers must analyze it, internalize it, and make it their own. The being of ultimate aim of reading, comprehension skills need to be deep-seated in the academic experiences of the students. Here are some reading assessment activities that can help reinforce the students' reading comprehension skills. First, caricature analysis. So here in caricature, the students interpret the meaning of the caricature while relating its essence to their own experiences. So, second, interpreting graphs. Look for any relevant data presented in graphs. Then, interpret objectively the facts and provide proactive measurements for a way forward. Third, problem solution route. In a pair, the first student possesses a problem, the other one offers a relevant solution. After this, and vice versa, they may present this to the class if time permits. Fourth, symbol translation. You present the flag of the different countries in the world. Students are given the freedom to choose the flag that attracts them or that signifies meaning to them. They are called individually to explain or give interpretation to the symbols of the chosen flag to check the veracity of the interpretation. The official source of information students are instructed to refer to. Fifth will be news item analysis. Students read news articles from different sources, print or non-print. They pick one issues that interest them and they identify the cause, what might have caused the issue, and the effect, probable result. So, let us now move on to fluency. This is a reading skills that gives credence to the smooth transition of words, thus creating a comprehensible idea. With this in mind, practice in oral communication is very essential. Fluency is defined as the ability to read with speed, accuracy, and proper expression. To understand what they read, children must be able to read fluency whether they are reading aloud or silently. When reading aloud, fluent readers read in phrases and add intonation appropriately. Their reading is smooth and has expression. So, Neporen 2012 noted that reading fluency is the ability to read accurately, smoothly, and with expression. Fluency is important because it bridges word recognition and comprehension. It allows students time to focus on what the text is saying. They can make connections between what they are reading and their own background knowledge. From the big ideas and beginning readers, fluency is reading words with no noticeable cognition or mental effort. It is having mastered word recognition skills to the point of overlearning. Fundamental skills are so automatic that they do not require conscious attention. So, here are 5 suggested activities that can help develop or reinforce students' fluency. First is the last word is mine. The students are grouped into 4. Then you present a pressing issue or a title of a story to each group alternately.
In a span of 10 seconds, each student in a group says something about the topic or story. After 10 seconds, the student stops. His or her last word becomes the first of the next students or speaker. This process continues until the last student of the group is able to say something and close the topic or story. Second, free talk. Given a photo or image of their interest, the students are tasked to say something about it without abstraction. You may note the student's correctness and miscues along the way. Third, compensatory strategies. These are mechanisms that aid students in making their oral communication comprehensible without distracting meaning. These are cues that are consciously employed but not very noticeable to the receiver. The use of common expressions like actually, let me see, okay, and certain gestures conveys a message that the speaker is still looking for the right terms. Fourth will be mini debate. The class is divided into two groups. A debatable proposition is presented. You assign group 1 to present the affirmative side of the topic, and group 2 to present the negative side. With facts in hand, the rebuttal starts. You give close attention to the oral communication skills delivered by the students. Lastly, is phone or messenger conversation. A scenario is provided to both parties, the caller and the receiver. The caller starts with his or her concern, and this shall be replied to appropriately by the receiver. The conversation is observed by the teacher and the rest of the students, and they give comments after.